Okay, be honest with me. You wake up and you promise yourself, today I'll practice English.
Then 5 minutes later, you're scrolling your phone instead, right?
Exactly. And by the time you're rushing out the door, it's gone. No English, just that little guilty feeling.
I know that feeling so well. But here's the thing, Emma, maybe the problem isn't you at all.
Wait, really? Then what is it?
Your morning just has too many steps, too much friction. And today, we're going to fix that, together.
Okay, so what do you mean by friction? That sounds kind of technical.
Not really. Think about it like this. Friction is anything that makes a task harder to start.
Give me an example.
Sure. Remember when you bought that English app last year?
Oh no, don't remind me. I was so excited on day 1.
And by day 7?
Gone. Completely forgotten. I think it's still sitting on my phone somewhere.
That's friction in action. You had to open the app, pick a lesson, focus, and push through when you were tired. Every single step was a small wall.
Huh, I never thought of it that way. I just thought I lacked discipline.
That's what most people believe, but it's usually not true. Discipline runs out fast, especially early in the morning.
True. My brain barely works before coffee.
Exactly. So if a habit needs strong willpower, it won't survive a sleepy Tuesday morning.
Okay, that actually makes me feel better. So it's not that I'm lazy?
Not at all. Your plan was just too heavy for how your mornings actually feel.
Right, because mornings are chaos. Alarm, snooze, rushing, breakfast, keys, door.
And somewhere in that chaos, you expected yourself to sit down calmly and study grammar.
When you say it like that, it sounds impossible.
It kind of is. Not because English is hard, but because the timing works against you.
So what's the alternative? Just give up on mornings completely?
No, quite the opposite. Mornings are actually perfect once we remove the friction.
How do we remove it?
By making English part of something you're already doing instead of something new you have to add.
Like brushing my teeth?
Perfect example. Do you ever forget to brush your teeth?
Never. I don't even think about it. My hands just do it.
Right? Because there's zero friction there. No decision, no motivation needed. It just happens.
I never realized how automatic that is.
Most habits like that feel invisible, which is exactly why they stick.
So you're saying English practice should feel that automatic too?
That's the goal, yes. Not forced, not stressful, just naturally attached to your existing routine.
Okay, but be real with me. Isn't that a bit unrealistic?
I get why you'd think that, but let's look closer. What do you already do every single morning, no matter what?
I make coffee, I check my phone, I get dressed.
Perfect. Those moments already exist in your day, without any extra effort from you.
True. I never skip coffee.
Exactly. So instead of creating a brand new habit, we attach English to something that's already unbreakable.
That actually sounds doable, not scary at all.
It should feel light, almost boring, because boring habits are the ones that survive.
Interesting. I always thought learning had to feel intense to work.
That's a common myth, but small and consistent always beats big and occasional.
Okay, I'm curious now. How exactly do we attach English to coffee or getting dressed?
Great question, and that's exactly where we're heading next. All right, let's break it down. You already make coffee every morning, right?
Every single day, without fail.
So instead of adding a new task, we simply attach English to that exact moment.
Attach how though? Like, physically?
Kind of, yes. While the coffee is brewing, you listen to 30 seconds of English audio.
Just 30 seconds? That feels almost too small to matter.
That's the whole point. Small feels easy, and easy things actually get done.
Okay, but wouldn't bigger steps give faster results?
In theory, sure, but bigger steps also get skipped more often, and skipped steps give zero results.
Fair point. A tiny habit you actually do beats a big one you avoid.
Exactly, and this is called habit stacking. You connect a new habit to an old one that's already automatic.
So the coffee becomes like a trigger?
Precisely. Your brain already links wake up with make coffee. No thinking required.
Right. My hands basically move on autopilot.
Now we just extend that autopilot a little further. Coffee starts, English starts, no separate decision needed.
That's kind of clever. There's no moment where I have to convince myself.
And that moment of convincing yourself is usually where habits die.
True, because if I have to decide, I'll probably choose the easier option.
Which is scrolling your phone most likely.
Guilty. Every single time.
So we remove the decision completely. The trigger happens, the habit follows, automatically.
Okay, I love that idea. But what about getting dressed? You mentioned that too.
Same concept applies there. While you're picking clothes, you could say the day's plan out loud in English.
Like talking to myself while putting on socks?
Exactly like that. And honestly, it works better than it sounds.
That feels a little strange, not going to lie.
It might feel strange for the first few days, and that's completely normal.
Does it get easier though?
It does, because your brain starts expecting English during that specific action.
So it becomes part of the routine, not something extra on top of it.
Right, it blends in, just like brushing your teeth does.
Okay, I'm starting to see the pattern here. Every action already has a hidden slot for English.
Exactly, and most people never notice those slots exist.
Because we're too busy rushing through the morning to even think about it.
Which is completely understandable. Mornings move fast, and thinking clearly feels hard.
So the trick isn't finding more time, it's using time that's already there.
That's the whole secret, honestly. You're not adding minutes, you're filling minutes that already exist.
That changes how I think about this completely.
Good, because once you see it, you can't unsee it.
So coffee time becomes listening time, and dressing time becomes speaking time.
Exactly. 2 habits stacked onto 2 moments you never skip.
What about brushing my teeth then? Can that work too?
Definitely. Even 2 minutes of brushing gives space for repeating simple phrases in your head.
So literally every part of my routine could carry a tiny piece of English.
That's the idea, and none of it needs extra time or energy.
Okay, I'm genuinely excited now. This feels realistic, not overwhelming.
That's exactly the goal. Something calm and doable, not another item on your stress list.
So where do we start? With coffee, dressing, or something else entirely?
Before we go further, there's something worth pausing on for a second. So, quick pause here. If this idea is making sense to you so far, that's exactly why we make these videos.
True, we love breaking down learning into small, realistic pieces like this.
And if you're new here, hitting subscribe means you won't miss the next routine we share.
Yeah, we post these simple, doable English tips regularly, so it's worth sticking around.
Okay, now let's get back to it. We talked about coffee and getting dressed, right?
Right. But you said there's a first technique we should start with specifically.
Yes, and it's probably the easiest one of all. Passive listening while you get ready.
Passive? What does that actually mean?
It means you don't need to focus hard or understand every single word.
Wait, really? I thought listening practice needed full attention.
That's what most people assume, but it's simply not true, especially for this specific habit.
Okay, walk me through it then. What does it look like in real life?
Picture this. You wake up, and before anything else, you play an English podcast or video.
While I'm still half asleep?
Exactly. While you're brushing your teeth, making coffee, or picking out clothes.
So it's just playing in the background the whole time?
Right. You're not stopping to translate or analyze anything, just letting it flow around you.
That honestly sounds relaxing, not stressful at all.
That's the whole point. Your brain still absorbs rhythm, sounds, and common phrases, even without full focus.
Interesting. So it's more about exposure than active study.
Exactly. Think of it like background music that slowly trains your ear.
Okay. But does that actually improve anything if I'm not paying attention?
Great question, and yes, it absolutely helps, especially with pronunciation and natural rhythm.
How so?
Well, your ear starts recognizing patterns, even before your brain understands the meaning.
Kind of like how kids learn language, just by hearing it constantly?
Exactly like that. Babies don't study grammar rules first. They absorb sound patterns naturally.
That's a great comparison, honestly. It makes this feel less intimidating.
It should feel light, not like homework you're forcing yourself through.
So what should I actually listen to? Does the content matter?
Pick something you'd enjoy anyway, like a short story, a casual conversation, or even simple news.
Not something boring or too academic then?
Definitely not. Boring content gets skipped, and skipped content teaches you nothing.
Makes sense. I'll actually listen if it's something I like.
Exactly. Motivation matters less here, because it's playing automatically anyway.
True. I don't need willpower for something that just happens in the background.
That's the beauty of zero friction habits. They don't rely on how you feel that day.
Even on rushed mornings?
Especially on rushed mornings, because you're not adding a task, you're just changing what plays.
Okay, that feels incredibly doable. Even I can press one button before rushing around.
Exactly. One small action, and the rest happens naturally in the background.
So, this becomes the very first zero-friction habit we build together.
Right, and once it feels normal, we can build on top of it.
I like that. Start small, then grow from there.
Exactly. And speaking of growing from there, there's something even bigger coming up next.
Now I'm curious. What could be bigger than this?
Let's just say, this next idea might completely change how you think about morning habits.
Okay, don't keep me waiting. What's this big idea?
All right, here it is. The real secret isn't finding more time. It's making the habit impossible to skip.
Impossible to skip? That sounds a bit extreme.
Stay with me here. What if your English habit was so small, skipping it felt weirder than doing it?
Okay, now I'm intrigued. How small are we talking about?
1 minute, sometimes even less.
Wait, seriously? 1 minute barely feels like practice at all.
That's exactly why it works. Your brain doesn't resist something that small.
But wouldn't 1 minute give basically zero results?
Actually, no. Because 1 minute done every day beats 30 minutes done once a week.
Wait, say that again? That feels backwards.
I know, it sounds strange, but consistency always beats intensity, especially early on.
Okay, break that down for me. Why does consistency matter more?
Because every time you repeat something, your brain treats it as important and worth keeping.
Like building a path through grass by walking the same route daily?
Exactly. One walk barely leaves a mark, but daily walks create a clear, permanent path.
That's such a clear picture. So repetition literally shapes the habit over time.
Right, and once that path exists, your brain follows it automatically, without resistance.
Okay, I get the small part now, but you mentioned something else too.
Yes, the second piece, removing decisions completely, especially at night, before you even sleep.
What do you mean by removing decisions?
Simple. Decide your morning English action the night before, so your brain doesn't choose in the morning.
Why does that matter so much?
Because mornings are foggy, and foggy brains avoid anything requiring choices.
True, I can barely choose what shirt to wear some mornings.
Exactly, so imagine adding choose English content on top of that fog.
Yeah, that would probably just get skipped completely.
Right, but if it's already chosen, there's nothing left to decide.
So, how does that actually look in practice?
Before bed, you pick tomorrow's audio, or write one phrase you'll say while making coffee.
So future me wakes up, and the decision is already made?
Exactly, present you does the deciding. Future you just presses play.
That honestly feels like a gift to my morning self.
That's a perfect way to put it. You're being kind to tomorrow's tired version of you.
Okay, combining both ideas then. Tiny habit plus zero decisions.
That's the whole secret, right there. Small enough to never skip, decided enough to never hesitate.
So even on my worst, most exhausted morning, this could still happen.
Especially on those mornings, because there's no energy required to decide or push through.
That's honestly reassuring. I always thought bad mornings meant automatic failure.
Not anymore, because the habit doesn't ask much from you in the first place.
Okay, I think this might be the most useful thing you've said today.
I'd agree with that, honestly. Everything else we share builds on this one idea.
Shrink it down, decide it early, and let it run on autopilot.
Exactly. And once you trust that system, everything else becomes so much easier.
Okay, now I really want to know what comes next.
Perfect timing, because next, we're adding a bit of speaking practice into this mix. All right, Ready for this one? It might feel a little silly at first.
Uh-oh. That's never a good sign.
Don't worry, silly is actually fine here. I promise you that.
Okay. Tell me, what is it?
Narrating your morning out loud, in English, while you move through your routine.
Wait, like talking to myself while pouring coffee?
Exactly that. Something like, I'm pouring my coffee now. It smells amazing.
That feels so strange, honestly. Who am I even talking to?
No one. And that's actually the best part about it.
How is talking to no one a good thing?
Because there's zero pressure. No one's judging your grammar or correcting your accent.
True. My kitchen isn't exactly grading my English skills.
Exactly. So it becomes a safe space to just practice speaking freely.
Okay, but why does speaking out loud even matter? Why not just think it?
Great question. Speaking activates different muscles, literally, in your mouth and your brain.
Wait, actual muscles?
Yes, your tongue and lips need practice forming English sounds, just like any physical skill.
Huh. I never thought about English as something physical before.
It really is. Thinking a word and saying it out loud use completely different pathways.
So thinking in English isn't enough on its own?
It helps, but speaking builds real, usable fluency, the kind you need in conversations.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess silence never got anyone fluent.
Exactly. And narrating your morning gives you daily, low-pressure speaking reps.
So what exactly should I say? Just describe random things?
Pretty much, yes. I'm brushing my teeth, I'm choosing a shirt, things like that.
That feels almost too simple to actually help.
I understand why you'd think that, but simple sentences build real, lasting confidence over time.
Fidence how, exactly?
Because you're training your mouth to produce English without stopping to overthink every single word.
Oh, that's actually huge. I always freeze up trying to find perfect words.
Right, and this habit removes that freeze completely, since nothing here needs to be perfect.
So mistakes are totally fine during this?
More than fine, mistakes are actually expected, and honestly, they're part of the whole process.
That's oddly relieving to hear.
It should be, because perfection was never the actual goal here in the first place.
Okay, what if I genuinely don't know a word while narrating?
Simple, just describe it differently, or use the closest word you already know.
Like saying, hot drink, instead of remembering the exact word?
Exactly, that's called paraphrasing, and honestly, even native speakers do this constantly.
Wait, really? Native speakers forget words too?
All the time, they just work around it smoothly, without stopping the conversation.
That's actually comforting. I thought only learners struggled with that.
Not at all. Working around gaps is a skill, and it's one worth practicing early.
Okay, I think I could actually enjoy this, once I stop feeling embarrassed.
And that embarrassment fades faster than you'd expect, usually within just a few days.
I'll trust you on that one.
Good, because once it feels normal, it becomes strangely satisfying, almost like a private game.
Okay, I'm sold. Coffee talk it is, starting tomorrow morning.
Perfect. And next, let's tackle the excuses I know you're probably already thinking about.
Okay, go ahead. Read my mind then.
All right, first one. I don't have time in the morning.
Okay, that's definitely one of mine. Mornings are already so rushed.
I hear that a lot, but think about it. Coffee already takes time, right?
Every single day, whether I plan for it or not.
So you're not adding time. You're just filling minutes that already exist, quietly, in the background.
Oh, right. We talked about that earlier. I forgot it applies here too.
Exactly. This excuse usually disappears once people realize nothing new is being added.
Okay, fair enough. What's the next one?
I'll forget to do it. That's a common one too.
Yeah, honestly, that's very possible for me.
Totally understandable, but this is where triggers come in, remember?
Right, attaching it to something automatic, like brushing my teeth.
Exactly. Your existing habit becomes the reminder, so you don't need to remember anything extra.
So the coffee itself basically taps me on the shoulder.
That's a great way to put it, yes. The trigger does the remembering for you.
Okay, that actually solves a real fear of mine. What's next?
I'm too tired to think in English early in the morning.
Oh, that one hits close to home. My brain feels foggy before coffee.
Completely normal, and honestly, that's exactly why we chose such small actions.
Right. 1 minute doesn't require deep thinking or full energy.
Exactly. Listening passively needs zero effort, and narrating uses simple, familiar words only.
So tiredness isn't really a valid excuse here anymore?
Not really, because the habit was designed specifically around low energy, not despite it.
That's actually reassuring, honestly. I thought tiredness would always be my biggest obstacle.
It's a real challenge for many people, but this system respects that limitation completely.
Okay, what about people who feel embarrassed talking out loud, even alone?
Good one. Start quietly then, almost like whispering, if that feels more comfortable.
Oh, I didn't realize whispering counted too.
Absolutely. Volume doesn't matter here. Consistency matters far more than confidence at the start.
That's honestly reassuring. I imagined I needed to be loud and clear.
Not at all. Whispering still trains your mouth, just a little more quietly.
Okay, one more excuse. What about days when the routine completely breaks, like traveling?
Great question. On those days, just do the smallest version possible, even 10 seconds.
10 seconds? That barely counts as anything.
Exactly. But it protects the habit itself, which matters more than the amount that day.
So missing one day completely is worse than doing something tiny?
Much worse, because missing days breaks the pattern, and patterns are what create real habits.
Okay, that changes how I'll think about bad or busy days.
Good, because perfect mornings were never actually the real goal here.
Right. Showing up in some small way matters way more than doing it perfectly.
Exactly, and once you accept that, most excuses naturally lose their power over you.
Okay, I genuinely feel like every excuse I had just got answered.
That's the goal, honestly. Real solutions for real mornings, not perfect ones.
All right, I'm ready. What's the next technique you promised us earlier?
Perfect timing, because next, we're adding one simple word each morning and reusing it all day.
Okay, 1 word a day? That sounds almost too easy.
That's exactly the point, Emma. Easy things actually survive busy mornings.
All right, walk me through it. How does this one work exactly?
Simple. You pick one word or phrase, tied to something you're already doing that morning.
Like connecting it to pouring coffee again?
Exactly. So let's say your word today is cozy.
Okay, cozy. Like a warm blanket kind of feeling?
Right. So while pouring your coffee, you'd say, "This mug feels so cozy in my hands."
Oh, that's actually a nice way to remember it, connected to something real.
Exactly. Words stick better when they're attached to real feelings or objects, not random lists.
True. I always forget words from flashcards within a day or two.
That's because flashcards feel disconnected from real life, floating with nothing to hold on to.
Whereas cozy now lives inside my actual coffee moment.
Exactly. And every time you make coffee again, that word quietly resurfaces in your mind.
So repetition happens naturally, without me forcing myself to review anything.
Right. The routine itself becomes the review session, without feeling like studying at all.
Okay, but where do I even find new words each day?
Anywhere, honestly. Something you read, heard, or even saw written somewhere during your day.
So I could grab a word from that background podcast we talked about earlier?
Perfect example. Yes. One word from there becomes tomorrow's coffee word.
Oh, that connects everything we've talked about so far, doesn't it?
Exactly. Listening feeds vocabulary. Vocabulary feeds speaking, and speaking feeds confidence.
That's such a satisfying little cycle, honestly.
It really is, and none of it requires sitting down with a notebook.
Okay, let's actually try one together. Live. Right now.
Sure, let's use refreshing. What would you say with your coffee this morning?
This coffee smells so refreshing after waking up.
Perfect. See, that wasn't difficult at all, was it?
Not even a little. It felt natural, almost like a real thought.
Exactly, because you're not memorizing definitions, you're using words the way they're meant to be used.
Okay, what if I use the word wrong though? Does that matter?
Not really. Wrong usage still builds familiarity, and familiarity leads toward correctness naturally, over time.
So mistakes here are just part of learning, not something to fear.
Exactly. Fear usually blocks practice, and practice is honestly the only real path forward.
Okay, I like that this feels playful, not like a strict grammar lesson.
That's intentional, because playful habits last, while stressful ones usually fade away fast.
All right, so now I've got listening, narrating, and one word, all stacked into one morning.
Exactly. 3 tiny habits, working together, without adding a single extra minute.
Honestly, that sounds like a full system now, not just random tips.
It is a full system. And next, let's actually walk through it, start to finish. All right, let's put it all together now, like a real morning, start to finish.
Okay, I'm ready. Walk me through it, step by step.
You wake up, and before anything else, you press play on something in English.
Right, that background podcast or short story we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. It just plays quietly while you get out of bed. No focus required yet.
Okay, then what? I head toward the kitchen, I guess.
Right, and while the coffee brews, you're still hearing that audio in the background.
So listening is already happening, without me doing anything extra at all.
Exactly. Then comes your one word, tied directly to that coffee moment.
Like saying, "This coffee smells so refreshing," from what we practiced.
Perfect example. And that single sentence uses today's word naturally, inside a real moment.
Okay, then I guess I move toward getting dressed next.
Right, and that's where narrating comes in. Describing what you're doing, out loud.
I'm choosing a shirt. This one looks comfortable today.
Exactly like that. Simple, honest, and completely pressure-free.
Wow, when you line it all up like this, it barely takes any extra time.
That's because it doesn't. We're talking maybe 3 or 4 minutes total. Honestly.
3 minutes for listening, speaking, and vocabulary combined? That feels almost unfair, in a good way.
It really is efficient, and more importantly, it's something you'll actually keep doing.
Right, because nothing here feels like a chore or a burden.
Exactly. And that's honestly more valuable than any perfect, complicated study plan.
So this whole routine isn't really about studying English at all, is it?
Not exactly, no. It's about slowly becoming someone who lives a little bit in English.
I really like that idea. Becoming, not just studying.
Exactly. Studying feels temporary, but becoming feels permanent, like part of who you are.
So every small morning action is basically shaping that identity, bit by bit.
Precisely. An identity change sticks far longer than any short burst of motivation ever could.
Okay, I want to try this tomorrow morning. For real this time.
I love that. Just remember, you don't need to do it perfectly.
Right. Even 10 seconds counts, if the morning gets messy or rushed.
Exactly. Showing up quietly beats skipping loudly, every single time.
Okay, one last question. What if I miss a day completely?
Simple. You just continue the next morning, without guilt or any dramatic restart.
So, there's no such thing as ruining the whole routine?
Not at all. One missed day means nothing, unless it turns into 2, then 3.
Got it. So the goal is just returning quickly, not staying perfect forever.
Exactly. And that mindset alone will carry you further than most learners ever go.
Honestly, this whole conversation changed how I think about mornings completely.
Same here. And I think our listeners will feel that shift too, starting tomorrow.
Okay, I think we've covered everything, from friction all the way to this final routine.
We really have. And now it's just about taking that very first small step. So that's it. Small steps, zero friction, no pressure at all.
Just coffee, a word, and a few honest sentences every single morning.
Exactly. And tomorrow, that's your only job. Nothing more.
If this helped, hit subscribe and let's keep growing together.
See you in the next one. Good morning, English learners.